I love when getting put on the spot. The what's going on in the market is always a big question. If I can, I'll try to express it in a narrative that, because it's been crazy what's been going on since January. And if you look at the KPI, we call it the key performance indicators or the key stats, since the end of November, December, like we were at an all-time low in inventory. And I know I mentioned that before, but it really set the stage for January. And I think moving forward, what I've learned is I'm going to pay attention to two things: with the monthly inventory of homes listed and Bank of Canada rate announcements, because oh my gosh, did things not tumultuous, or it's not turmoil, but I don't know if they knew the effects, how soon the effects would happen to inventory and pricing. So with inflation the way that it is, it certainly sounds like everybody's asking for the banks and the Bank of Canada to increase the rates of lending. And certainly the big banks have been pushing or pressuring the Bank of Canada to increase their overnight rate. And quietly in the background, I didn't mention this before, since like November, December, they had been increasing the fixed rates slowly and every month. And then boom, before you know it, we're looking now like a fixed rate offering it's in the 4.5%. And which is alarming because, as far back as, or as close as November, December, they were under 3%. So I think the Bank of Canada saw this, and now they're following suit with the variable rates starting to creep up. And one would think that if rates go higher and the prices go lower, that's going to bring more buyers out. And we have seen more listings, that's for sure. Probably double what we saw since December, from December to February. And you would think that, okay, we have enough listings to accommodate and satisfy the buyers. But one thing that I believe is getting overlooked is the stress test. And the stress test being you as a purchaser have to qualify at the offered rate plus 2%, or what they call the qualifying rate of 5.25%, whichever is higher. And in the past, it was always 5.25. It was always the qualifying rate. And now, if they're offering high 4% fixed rate mortgage, you have to qualify in the 6s. And I don't know how far away we are from reaching a 6% fixed rate mortgage, but it's literally doing two major things. The borrowing power is less, because at a higher rate, you're obviously going to be able to borrow less, like you carry less debt, so your max approval will shorten. And the other is it's forcing some prospective buyers to take a variable rate mortgage, which in the very near future is going to continue to go up. And how high is the question? And I think I've learned from my prediction video earlier this year that I just don't know. That rate, having opinions on rate is very volatile, and it's hard to say where they're going to go. But I will add this. We saw something similar if we look back to around 2017, 2018. And I remember this vividly because I moved myself in 2018, and I see some parallels of what's happening in the last, basically since March until today. We're shooting this video in May. 2017 was a very hot market, lots of bidding wars, much like what we saw during really the last 2 years. And I do remember the public and the press, the media calling for, okay, we got to raise interest rates and so on. And in fact, that's what they did. In 2017, they raised the overnight rate 2 times, quarter point each time, so half a point on the year. And then into 2018, they did the same thing. They raised it basically a full percentage point from 27 to the end of 2018. They also introduced the stress test in 2018, and things really slowed right down. And I remembered this because I had to sell my home at the end of 2018, and it was looking great at the beginning of the year, but by the end of the year, I remember having to actually price drop. There was no bidding wars. It was actually kind of disheartening. I can laugh about it now, but it's a serious situation that I wouldn't want anybody for sure to go through. So I see a parallel now, and they took a year to increase 1% on the overnight rate, and they basically raised 75 basis points in the last 2.5 months. So everybody's eyes are going to be on June 1st, that's for sure. Are they going to wait and see the impact, or are they going to continue to raise rates in this fight against inflation? I don't know that using interest rates and real estate alone fights inflation. I think we have a supply chain issue. I really think it's understated that businesses, they don't run the same way that they used to. Businesses don't carry as much inventory the way they used to. They probably order as they need it now, and that's in part because, yes, supply chain issues, labor force issues, folks that were getting sick or they had to cut back, or during the last couple of years, because if business is down, you're not going to carry as many employees, you're not going to order as much inventory, and that's this all kind of comes to a head right now. So the terminal rate that they're looking for, the Bank of Canada, is between 2 and 3%. Currently, we're at 1%. And if we look at 2018, when things started to slow, they hit 1.75. So I got to question whether is 1.75, we're not even there yet. And we're seeing, I would say between March to today, in some neighborhoods, a 10% drop in pricing. Is continuing to work with the interest rates upward, is that going to be the end all and be all to our inflationary problems? I mean, yeah, so I'm going to refrain from making any predictions, and that's basically my take on what's going on right now.